would not hear about it. Why didn't he nominate Ruhakana Rugunda, who is already there anyway? Ruhakana Rugunda is there with Olaro Tunu. But just like Museveni uses Ugandan policemen to go and beat Ugandans at campaign trails, uses Ugandan military to go and kill each other, to go and kill Ugandans. Ugandan military were heard speaking in Acholi when the LRA war was happening. It was these, our brothers and sisters, who were the ones coming to rape the men, to rape the women, to cut off their mouth. It was people of Ugandan descent. It is about time that we don't give Museveni anybody else to continue to get Museveni's record clean. No. Honorable Mao is a great example of what Museveni can do to you when he gives you anything. But many of you know that Museveni does not give you anything for nothing. Honorable Mao said he's going Sijui to create Sijui relationships, Sijui this, that, DP and blah, blah, blah. Well, where is he now? He didn't even vote himself. That's what Museveni does. That is what Museveni does. So people who are fighting, people like Lumbuye, Lumbuye's business has been the study of Museveni and Museveni-isms. That's what Lumbuye is a student, a PhD holder of Museveni-isms. Lumbuye knows him in and this is not a tribal issue. Please understand. It is not a tribal issue. It is not. My people who are whipping me left and right, it is not a tribal issue. Museveni has to answer for the LRA wars. Museveni has to answer for what happened to Acholi people. Museveni has to answer for all this documented history of the people who say they were raped. The men who say they were raped before their family, before their wives, before their children. The men whose parts were cut off and put in their mouth. Museveni must answer to those. Museveni must answer to nodding disease. Which nodding disease, by the way, according to this document, you can look online and I've shared it as well. Nodding disease is caused by, how many of you have heard of Agent Orange? Agent Orange is a forbidden chemical agent which was used in mass wars, where a helicopter will fly over a region and spray something. It happened in, I think, China and Vietnam during those major world wars. They flew helicopters or airplanes with Agent Orange, a chemical inside, which caused chemical warfare. People today are born with one eye only, without limbs, and it has caused major defects. So some of that chemical is believed to be the cause of nodding disease in northern Uganda. It is documented. Honorable Mao said it on the documentary. World Health Organization, in fact, CDC. What's CDC? I know what it is. CDC, which is, one second. I want to say it right because it's going to tie it in well. Centers for Disease Control is CDC. Honorable Mao, in the documented video, says that CDC has studied nodding disease, which is a disease only in northern Uganda, only along a body of water where the children are born with a disease which causes them to nod, and whatever is in front of them, they will nod until the seizure, the moment of seizing, stops, which sometimes they end up in fire, they end up falling on tools, they end up hitting their head on a rock. In fact, mothers these days, and for a while, have had, sometimes you have 3 children with the disease, and you still have to go to the garden to fend for food. What they did was tie the child to a tree like a goat and go farming. And this child will stay in that same spot and pee in the same spot and waste, in the same spot. So if not nodding disease taking their life, I mean, the health conditions or whatever the case might be will take their lives, okay? So nodding disease is a condition that was caused purposely by Museveni to try to reduce the population of northern Uganda, to try to eliminate the north completely. And those are all files at the ICC. CDC right now, Centers for Disease Control, has a report on the causes, possible, likely, documented, investigated causes of the disease. And it is linked to chemicals of warfare. That's the right wording for it. Chemicals of warfare due to the aftermath of the war, the LRA war, which was perpetrated by Museveni, has caused several cases of nodding disease. And this disease continues because it alters genetics of the existing parent or the child who is born. Once that agent is in them, they continue to produce once they have a match enough in the DNA of the partner they have to have a child, to cause even more offsprings with the disease. So CDC has the report. They have handed it to Museveni, but Museveni is tight-lipped about this report regarding the cause of nodding disease in Uganda. It is no wonder there has been zero government help for the nodding disease in Uganda. Despite Salim Saleh pitching camp in Acholi, nodding disease has seen no treatment, no care, no investigation, because they have the true report from CDC saying the cause of that thing is like Agent Orange. If you've heard, go and Google Agent Orange online and you will see the aftermath of Agent Orange and you will not believe it. People born with one eye, people born without nostrils, people born without limbs, because this stuff, nobody knew how bad it affected people. Some of those people are now being kept in camps so that they don't reproduce or marry or intermarry, to cause more of those disabilities in communities in Asia. Anywhere where that was used, they have grouped them together so that they don't spread the condition or genetics to cause more. In Acholi, it will take a lot because they've already been through camps. I mean, what can you do? How do you stop reproduction? First of all, being that region, Mao describes it very well in the video. I like to refer to Mao because when you people come at me and say I am being tribalistic, please understand that my source of information is not, I don't know, any other tribe or anywhere. So that means I don't mean any harm. I'm coming to you because I am concerned and I care a lot about where we come from. I care a lot. It is about time Museveni answers for what he has done to Acholi, especially, but for the rest of Uganda. And not just that, for East Africa as a whole. I have mentioned Sudan, I've mentioned Uganda, I've mentioned Somalia, I've mentioned Rwanda. Okay? Sudan, since independence, there's no peace. Uganda, since Museveni came to power, starting with the LRA wars, going on to injecting HIV amongst Ugandans, especially the military and every business, prominent people. Right now, HIV is very prominent because he's making it worse. He's doing it even more. In Rwanda, Museveni caused the genocide. It was not ignited by Rwandese, the Hutus and Tutsis. Museveni ignited the genocide in Rwanda. In Somalia, he did the same exact thing. He told even Ronald Reagan in a video which I have on my page, if you want, you can go and look. He said, I started fighting Gaddafi before you did. It is documented. I'm not bringing this from somewhere else where I don't understand. I'm not making up things. I'm saying Olaro Tunu is not appropriate right now because Museveni needs to account. Because previously, Museveni swatted a judgment by the International Court of Justice of $60 billion that he's supposed to pay to Congo. Museveni was able to call Kofi Annan and get and stop the investigation on the case. So it's not about me. It's not because where I come from. You can talk about the endorsements from everywhere, but think about Honorable Mao, our brother from home. He told us he's going to work with Museveni to bring about transition and bring about change and blah, 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 blah. Today, Honorable Mao is eating with Museveni and he has produced nothing of what he promised. So it is not about tribe. Lumbuye is not about Otunu being Anacholi. Everybody that is saying no to Otunu, it's not because Otunu is Anacholi, but I'm disappointed that my Acholi people who are attacking me do not recall the tears of our forefathers, our relatives and friends who have gone and lost their lives at the expense of being Anacholi because Museveni feels like it is time to have Acholi wiped off